episode 8, the Ocho of Basement Chat. Home, back in the basement for you here again. Oh, it's been 3 weeks since the last time we seen you. Had a lot go on since then, Jim.
Hey, it's nice to be back here on the chat, Rip. It's a little bit of a return down under. The last 3 weeks have been very exciting in the New Jersey softball scene. We've had the D-Conference Championship, the E-Conference Finals, as well as 2 very exciting weeks of the Super Summer Softball event.
Very true, buddy.
All very good tournaments.
A couple good things coming up this weekend as well.
Yep, we're going to get into everything. This week we have the Above All team traveling down to Florida to represent New Jersey. They'll be playing in the A-Worlds, held at the Fortune Road Complex down in Florida. And we have a very, very hot D-National event, Rip, up in Connecticut, as well as some of our teams in the E-National out in New York, Pennsylvania. So a lot going on, Rip. Where should we start?
Wherever you like, my friend. Just take it up. Let's get it going. Let's start with the D-Conference recap, pal.
Okay, D-Conference recap. First of all, I want to thank Mohammed and Evo9X for their kind sponsorship of the event. The D-Conference final, Rip, the team that everybody had to have been talking about, South Jersey Extreme.
Yeah, I guess, heading into the tournament, I'd assume that a lot of people would pick the Assassins to be the favorite in that tournament, but like we stated on the previous Basement Chat, South Jersey Extreme starting to get it going. The train's starting to move in the right way that Coach Forrest wanted it to.
I got to tell you, Luke is prepared. He brought 160 bottles of Poland Spring water to Mercer County Park.
No reason to be dehydrated.
That's right. So these guys believe in hydration, and they believe in good softball. South Jersey Extreme started the day. OSD, very good, scrappy team, winning 11-4. Mohawk was their second opponent up, beat them 14-4. Rip, you knew they were going to meet Assassins sooner or later.
Had to happen, didn't it?
Had to happen. South Jersey Extreme finally coming out on top over Assassins. Kudos to both teams. Luis Centano was the MVP of the day. Pete Peters, Brian Regal, and Jose Sanchez named all-conference for South Jersey Extreme. Rip, you've played against these guys. Tell me about South Jersey Extreme.
Jim, like we said all year, South Jersey Extreme is a big team that has a ton of talent. It was just a matter of time before Coach got them gelling to where he wanted them to go. And listen, heading into the right time of year, starting to look like they're ready to peak and get it done whenever they're at.
Gelling like Magellan. Assassins had some fellas on the all-conference team. Johnny Engelman, Frank Morano, the third baseman, and Jason Lerman. Also a team that really kind of turned it up a little bit, Rip. PSB had a nice tournament.
Yeah, they absolutely did. I mean, they got their money's worth out of the tournament, that's for sure, right? A lot of rainouts this year for them, but we took care of that in one day. They went out and played 7 games.
7 games, going 4-3. They made sure as heck made up for some of those rainouts. Sticks and his guys, could be a real sleeper at the D-Worlds. They had a couple guys, Brent Dempsey, Matt Roldan, and Marty Maloney, who were named to the all-conference team.
Congratulations, fellas.
That's right. Now, the week before, a little bit wetter, Rip. Out in Reddington, we had the E-Conference Finals. We did have to shorten that event just a little bit because of some rain, but I really thought things went pretty well top to bottom.
Jim, I can't argue that. Sometimes they say it's better when it's wetter, but in this case it worked out good for my boys, the Broad Street Bullies. Nice job, fellas.
That's right. Bill Shallcross and his
Baby
guys.
Glove!
That's right. Billy and the guys taking a rain-soaked final against Wrap It Up, beating them 25-21. Rip, earlier in the
defensive
day...
game, I see.
That's right. Earlier in the day, Ease and Dreamworn kind of banged heads a little bit in the semifinals. That was a game going in that you and I thought would be a good one.
Yeah, we thought, Dreamworn would be in the finals this tournament, but, Ease wasn't having any of it, apparently.
That's why you go out and play the games.
That's absolutely right, my friend.
That's right. Wrap It Up. Had a nice win against OSD. That was a 7-6, a defensive struggle.
Coach Smitty getting the guys a little bit tuned up, getting ready to rock and roll.
I got to tell you, I was impressed with Wrap It Up. They're coming off of a nice D States as well as a nice little run in the E-Conference. So for Ease, Daniel Roman was the MVP. Jared Gardner, Baby Glove, and Pat Barton named to the All-Tournament team. For Wrap It Up, Coach Smitty and the guys, Dave Rivero, Jude Bracken, and shortstop Rob Delfino. 3 quality players.
I heard Delfino saves cats' lives.
That's right. He has saved a few felines on the Jersey City Police Department. OSD represented on the all-conference team by Tracy Perkins, A-Rob, and Mike Lawrence. Top to bottom.
Tracy Perkins, the old guy, still getting it done, buddy. Time in, time out.
That's right. Thank you again to Evo for the sponsorship of the conference. Mohammed and Steven were lucky enough to take a ride down to the military worlds this past week. as well as Muhammad will be helping out with the Oklahoma State tournament this weekend by doing the awards. So again, Evo 9X, a great company based in Edison, New Jersey. We in New Jersey appreciate all that you are doing for
absolutely appreciate it a ton.
So Rip, that'll take us into the Super Summer softball event.
Yeah, it was a big one. Week 1 we started with the Women's Open, right? We had the Toxic in the finals against Twisted Sisters coming out of Mass, I believe, right? Am I not mistaken?
Twisted Sisters, led by Lori Beaudoin. She is the pitcher of that team. She is in the New England Hall of Fame for USSSA. She's a first-class coach and pitcher. Twisted Sisters, Rip, during the day showed why they are possibly the top women's team on the Eastern Seaboard.
I tell you what, watching them play, they do it on all sides of the ball. They hit it right, and they don't make mistakes defensively. She has them all in the right spots all the time. I mean, it looks like a major league team playing softball from the way they hit the cutoffs. Everywhere the ball goes, there's never any mental mistakes with them.
There's a reason why this team was in the finals of the SeaWorlds for women last year.
You ain't kidding about
that. We have to give a hat off. Toxic was able to defeat Twisted Sisters in the last game of the day, the B-National Finals, so to speak. Rip, you were part of that game. Tell us about it.
Listen, it was a thrilling game. Toxic came out. They put their best 10 players on the field, in my opinion, that were there that day. And they went out and they shocked Twisted Sisters, I think. I'm not sure that Twisted Sisters was ready for them after drubbing them earlier, for them to come out with a little bit of fight in them, and Toxic didn't. They came out and hung 12 in the first inning and managed to hang on for the 2016 win. Toxic
came out swinging like I haven't seen since Mr. T and Rowdy Roddy Piper in the boxing match.
Well, when he slapped Mickey over the stairs, remember? Bye-bye! How you doing?
That's right. So it was a great women's tournament. Congratulations to Toxic. Day 2, Rip, we had the women back for 2 days. Toxic again with the win. Beating Dirty Habit from New York in 2 games.
Listen, that's a good weekend of softball for the girls. Let's hope that they can carry that momentum forward, upcoming tournaments, and especially when they get down to Florida to Worlds.
Absolutely. And a shout-out to the tournament MVP, Carol Tucker, the pitcher.
Listen, she deserved MVP all day, every day, both days. She was phenomenal on the mound.
Phenomenal on the mound.
A lot of clutch hits as well.
A classy individual. Carol involved with this tournament for many, many years. Carol, we at USSSA New Jersey are so happy to see you as MVP of a national event. Congratulations.
Absolutely true.
Very much.
Also, Jim, we had the men's rec portion of the show, which was actually, for the first time in a long time, a true rec portion. We wound up with 14 teams.
You know, Rip, I appreciate you saying that. We took a lot of effort this year to really take the rec back to what it's supposed to be.
Correct.
And, we were taking rosters in advance. We limited the number of tournament players. So we had 14 teams in the rec. And Rip, I've got to be honest with you, there were some very, very good games.
Well, listen, anytime you pull in the rosters to make sure that people are playing where they're supposed to play, it kind of evens the playing field, gives us some parity, so to speak. And we wound up with a lot of good ball games. You're absolutely correct.
There was a game early on, Case's Pork Roll and Purple Drank, 2 very, very good teams. I wanted to go over to the field and watch the game.
I don't blame you.
There was some good. So
although I'm a little partial to Taylor Ham myself, but that's how it goes.
We won't get into that on Basement Chat. Purple Drank, Bobby Schreiner, tournament winners. Dance It Up coming in second, led by Adam Gorner. Less is More, Chris Moore, the coach, coming in third. Also tied for third was Lunar Steel, Andrew Chung. Some really good competition, Rip, in the rec. The women's E was won by Alcoholics out of Pennsylvania in a nice game against HK Liquors, coached by Joel Hansberry in the finals.
Nice job.
That's right. A lot of those women's teams we back, Rip. We have our breast cancer tournament, which also has a
Save the Tatas.
That's correct. We are saving all the Tatas that we can, October 8th and 9th in Mercer. So women's teams, please circle that on your calendar, October 8th and October 9th. Now the second week of the Summer Slammer, Rip,
co-ed
brought out a lot of the co-ed legends, I'll tell you that. The upper, no surprise, won by a team you're familiar with, the Assassins. Rip,
yeah.
Talk to me about that.
Anytime you see the Assassins in a tournament, in a co-ed field especially, they're gonna be there to play, and they're gonna probably be in the finals or damn well close to it every time, because they have very good girls playing. Not to take nothing away from the men of their team, who are also good ball players. Obviously, they play in the Assassins men team, but girls in co-ed softball would separate you from wins and losses.
Absolutely.
They have very good girls.
They do. And Assassins did suffer a loss in the pool play to our Pennsylvania, the DRKG team, coached by Mike Orioles. That's a very, very good team as well, and their girls can play some softball.
Yes, I heard a lot about them coming into the tournament. And I'm not shocked to see where they fell or how they played, actually. And that fact that they beat the Assassins, I was forewarned that they were coming to make a name for themselves. And
that's right.
Listen, congratulations to them. Big shout out, like you said, to Coach Mike Oriole.
Hey, Mike Oriole is one of the colorful characters out there on the softball circuit. We appreciate the team coming in from Pennsylvania. Genesis Biotech coming in second in the upper, and in the lower, Rip, a team that we talked a lot about, but not as much on the co-ed side. In fact, I forgot to mention them the last week. The Broad Street Bullies co-ed team, E's Irish Pub. Bill Shawcross, led by his better half, Dana Myers, as well as Deanna Myers. Rip, the E co-ed went very late. I didn't hear a lot of complaining out of this team or about a caliber.
Nah, listen, Bill's that type of guy who's been to a lot of tournaments, understands what it's going to take to get it done. Length of the day doesn't really matter to him. He's got everything prepared. And as a result of that, walk away with a W.
That's right, and the heat. The heat was a factor during the day, so a lot of these teams had to kind of stay hydrated, and E's did a very, very good job in the 100-degree heat. So,
absolutely.
Moving back into the portion about the A Worlds, because I know there's a lot of people out there that are very excited about Above All. Rip, you've played at this level. I don't have much to say other than that the event will be live streamed on USSSAlive.com/Conference USA. I can tell you that they open up Friday at 6 p.m., but Ripper, take it away. Tell us about Above All.
Listen, they open up, this is what they played all year for. This is their shot right here. This is the one where you go get the ring. They open up with Buffalo Wings and Rings, who they've played a couple times this year. I believe they split, or they're up one, or maybe Buffalo's up one. All that doesn't matter. Nothing matters when you get to a world. It's a clean slate. The team that comes out, plays the best, is going to win. I fully expect Above All to win this game. If they do win this game, they should, by all rights, face the #1 seed at 12:30 on Saturday, which will be the heat of the day in Florida for most part in this game, against BHR Coppermine out of Texas, who's already won a conference event this year, the Sooner Invitational. So, you have an opportunity to win your first game, get a good night's rest, come out the following day, and play the 1 seed. And listen, you're down there, go ahead and shock somebody. I personally think that they have an opportunity to win the game. That's no knock on BHA Coppermine. Just my feelings about Above All. It always seems to be that a team from Jersey makes a good run at the Worlds no matter which level, pretty much every level. And I think this is going to be an opportunity for them. If they win that game, they have a very good path to possibly get to the winner bracket final that Saturday night. And I would love to see the guys go out and do it for their sponsor, Joe Benante.
Absolutely. And I heard that Mr. Benante had a nice little round on the links today with Mr. Paterzo. So
no shock.
That's right. Those guys.
My man loves golfing.
They can hit him straight. So good luck to Joe and Tom and all of the guys from Above All, both the Jersey and out-of-state players. Now, Rip, before we turn off the page on the A Worlds, are there any other games besides Above All that maybe you were looking at, or something that we might want to take a look at in terms of the A Worlds?
The one game that jumps off the map to me would be the JBL Tailgater All-American Restoration game.
That's right.
JBL being a 2 seed, All-American comes in the 15th seed. All-American's not a conference team, and this event is seeded based upon conference points. However, that's not to be said. All-American is a very, very, very talented team. A lot of conference experience. A lot of guys who have rings on their team. The problem with that game is whoever loses that game is going to be in the losers bracket early. And that means if you start losing, you start coming across either one of those teams, it's going to be a hard path to keep winning. That's not to say that either team can't go out, lay a clunker, be out of the tournament 0-2. But one of these two teams are pretty much the odds-on favorite to get to Sunday.
Okay. I'll be trying to watch that game myself. Once again, good luck to Above All and all the guys playing down at the A Worlds. That'll be out at Fortune Road in the Kissimmee area this weekend. Now, a little bit closer to home, Rip, we're sending 2 of our D teams up to the Connecticut Sportsplex, the Assassins as well as South Jersey Extreme. Now, you and I have taken a very close look at this bracket. Both of the teams are in the bottom half of the bracket. Rip, it looks like Assassins have a little bit easier draw, but neither one of them have a walk in the park here.
I would say maybe an easier draw if you're talking in reference to just the first round game.
That's right.
Assassins does come out. They play a team who is Mass Bedlam, 6-15 in class. They win that game. They play a couple of guys I'm familiar with. A good possibility of playing the team The Scene with Al Puco, your boy,
Joe Benelli. Joe Benelli, yeah, those got some guys can play.
So, that's a tough second round matchup. But listen, it's no different than what you're going to get at Worlds, right? So it's just a tune-up for there. Come out. If Assassins comes prepared to play from the jump, they should win both games. If they don't come, they'll be in a dogfight. If not the first game, absolutely for sure the second game, because this Scene team is tested.
Those guys, the Connecticut Sportsplex is almost like a home game for them.
Yes.
They've played many, many times up there. Now, South Jersey Extreme is also on that side of the bracket. They open up with a very tough game. I believe it's McKay's Union Brewhorse from Plymouth, Massachusetts. This team, Rip, has two NIT wins this year.
23-12 overall as well, so it's not a slack team. So, but I expect, like I said before, Coach Forrest, I'm sure he's done his homework already. He knows who he's playing. He knows the record. He knows what they've done in tournaments. He's going to have his team prepared, ready to do battle from Jump Street. There'll be no lackadaisical movement from the onset.
No, they'll be out there. They'll be doing the BP. They'll be doing the things that you need. I mean, this is a well-coached team. But no matter what kind of coaching you have, going on to the second round with a possible matchup against Max is on Maine, and those guys will come to play.
Oh, Max is on Maine. Like I said in the beginning of the year when we first did our first episode of Basement Chat, they're a team that shows up and they're scrappy and they can play it on both sides. So if you're going to play them, again, it's going to be a game where you can't, if you come off that first win, you can't come out a little bit down the second time because you're going to come out of there with a loss. So you got to maintain that high throughout all the time.
And I don't like to give a lot of predictions, Rip. You know this. You know, I like to try to maintain some PC, but I feel like the team that wins that game is going to win 2 more games in a winner's bracket. That's just the way I feel.
Listen, anything's a possibility.
There you go. So good luck to Assassins. Good luck to South Jersey Extreme.
Bring it home.
We're sending OSD and, Ease Irish, who's a Pennsylvania team. But
we're claiming them. It's my Broad Street Bullies.
Broad Street Bullies, Rips boys. Those 2 teams are going out to York, Pennsylvania this weekend. And 2 wins, Rip, and those teams could meet each other.
Yeah, that'll be an exciting game, that's for sure, right? Because you got Old School Dragons, who's a bunch of guys who have been there, done that. Ease Irish Pub's a team that's feeling really good about themselves, coming off a couple of wins.
They should.
How are they going to match up now when they see that team across from them is what's going to happen. And will the veteran leadership of OSD overcome Ease Irish Pub, or will the young kids from Broad Street step their game up a notch and show the older guys we're here for real?
Broad Street, Philadelphia, PA. Anyway, Ease Irish has to get by team underrated Mad Max out of Delaware first. Good luck to those teams. Now, next week, a week from this weekend, Rip, there are already 39 E-teams registered for the E-National in Connecticut, the Connecticut Sportsplex. That should be a dynamite tournament as well.
Listen, there's no doubt about it. That's just another quality tournament teams are going to go to prepare them for the World Tournament. You're going to play by your world rules. No more any kind of certain tournament stipulations. This is it. What you're going to play here, you're going to play in Florida. So you got to be prepared to play and play the game the right way from the onset. If you play the 39 teams, that's a lot of wins, and you don't want to be in a loser's bracket early for any reason.
And we've got 4 teams going up there that all can make a case to be the favorite out of New Jersey. You've got Elite Athletic, okay, which is a team that's won 2 New Jersey tournaments this year.
Loaded with youthful talent.
A lot of youthful talent. You've got Sorrento's Bakery from right across town. This team came in second last year at the same tournament. So you got Sorrento's, you got Elite, you have a Dreamworn Sports, Rip, who has won in-state this year. These guys very, very hot. Finals of our E-states. They've shown that they can get it done at a big tournament like this. And Wrap It Up's going too.
Listen, I think with a tournament like this, you have a team like Elite Athletic Gear. This is new for these kids. Thankfully for them, they have 2 veterans, Nick Biscopo and Chuck Savate,
that's right,
who have been to multiple nationals and worlds, which will kind of calm them down a little bit as opposed to being all fidgety and nervous. I don't think that's going to be a problem for them. Dreamworn is a team that was playing very well, had a little hiccup. Can they get back in that groove? Sorrento's Bakery, I haven't seen a lot of this year, but like you said, been here, done that. They were here last year, shocked everybody, came in second place.
Yep.
And then Wrap It Up. Wrap It Up's going to go as far as, Coach Smith lets the guys go as far as defensively. If they play solid defensively, I think their hitting's going to be there. They have a lot of good hitters. You have Dominic Esposito. You have Eric Smith. You have the big guy at first base, my man, Big Matt. Mashes the ball, right? They have a good left side of the infield, anchored by Robbie Delfino. They have the ability to get it done. The question is, can they do it consistently?
Correct.
If they can do it consistently, I would not be shocked to get a phone call, hey, here we are, here's what we did. I would not be shocked, Jim.
Rip, if the Wrap It Up team from the D-State shows up with that kind of attitude and that kind of performance, I don't know which of these 4 teams is going to come out on top just from the New Jersey teams.
Correct.
So, strong field if there are other E teams in the tri-state area looking to get into that tournament. My colleague John Brandt is still accepting entries. So, moving on back home in New Jersey, our next tournament here, we're going to have the Labor Day NIT in Mercer. Teams that are interested in any class, please reach out to me. We also have the Co-Ed National running Saturday, September 3rd in Mercer as well. So, Rip, this is going to move us into the question and answer period of the chat. Are you ready?
Well, happy, joy.
Well, we've got 4 questions for you, and I know that you're going to be very entertained by all of them. First question comes from E-Ball for Life.
It's a bright outlook.
There you go. Rip, I am looking for advice on how an average E-ball player can move up the food chain, so to speak. Personally, I've been looking to move up the ladder and show everyone how good I can be. Signed, E-Ball for Life. Rip?
The one thing that stands out in this whole entire thing to me is the word average. Not to knock anybody who's an average player, not whatsoever. The key is to put the work in. You really got to get out, take the BP, work the fundamentals at every tournament you're at, play the game the right way, hustle on and off the field. Somebody's always watching. We have a guy on my team, TNT, who played E-Ball last year, Howie Deemer, who I thought coming up to this year would come up, gain some experience playing at the C level. Wasn't really sure what I would get for him. I know there'd be some growing pains, but has had an exceptional year this year simply because he's all ears. When you talk to him, he's a sponge, wants to soak it in, wants to get better, has that burn desire. He's outputting in the BP, outputting the work in. All this stuff matters. Hustles on the field, hustles off the field, hustles in the bases, does whatever I ask him to do,
right?
And there's no complaints ever.
That's the way you do it.
Yes.
And Mr. Deemer being a good case study, so we're excited to see what Howie and the guys from TNT will be doing with the Worlds coming up down in Florida. So
better be getting it working.
Okay. Well, the next question. This comes from an anonymous source. Rip, I'm sort of new to tourneys. Excuse me if I'm wrong, but I've seen more hate in church than I see at some of these tourneys. Everyone is all buddy-buddy on and off the field. I just want to know if it's just me or do you see it too?
Well, first thing I'd like to say is you probably find a new church.
Okay.
I don't think anybody should be at a church having any kind of hate. That's a little bit crazy for me. Second thing is I do agree with you. There seems to be a lot of buddies, whether they're against teams, on the same teams or not, and I do agree. But I think a lot of that's to do with the fact that you see the same guys 2-3 times a month. You play leagues against a lot of the same guys, so you develop a rapport, a friendship, so to speak. You would hope that when you get to a world tournament or a national tournament, that would change. The team in the other dugout, that your guys would be like, screw them, to pun a better word that I can't use right this minute because you won't let me. And want to basically rip the other team's head off. You know, nobody on, bang, line drive off the pitcher's mask. I'm not mad at you. You understand what I'm saying to you? I wish my guys would pang a couple pitchers off the face mask once in a while. Although I have a couple of guys I could probably chip a couple dollars to that would do it. Irrelevant right now. You understand what I'm saying to you? I'm not advocating hit pitchers, but I'm saying you got to play with that win-at-all-cost attitude when the chips really matter to you. I mean, this is where we're coming to, World Tournament. You owe it to your sponsors to go out and play a little pissed off, a little bit on edge.
Agreed.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
This is where now, you want to see your buddies in brick, hug them and high-five and play grab ass? Fantastic. You get to a World Tournament, the guy who foots the tab is not expecting you to high-five and hug another guy. A guy who makes a dive and play, tip your hat. Somebody that makes a good play on your team, tip your hat. The reality is you got to come out pissed off and wanting to knock another team's head off.
It's the only way to get it done, Rip, and you've been there before. You totally understand that. Now, this would lead us into our next question. This comes from TK. Rip, is batting practice vital to a team's success? How would you operate it? Oppo swings, question mark. Pull then middle, question mark.
Is batting practice vital to a team's success? Prior to a tournament, yes. As far as the secondary question, how would I operate it? Listen, it's very simple. Get a screen, one guy on deck, one guy in the batter's box, everybody out shagging balls, getting loose. The premise of pre-game BP is for guys just to get loose, start getting a little sweat going and getting through it. As far as oppo swings and pull in the middle, that's the work you're supposed to be doing during the week, preparing for the weekend. That needs to be done. If you're not doing that and you're just out having fun, hitting the ball, see how far you get the ball, you're not actually helping your team, you're only hurting your team, and you're cheating yourself, to be honest with you. I learned that very early in life with a guest we had here way back in the day, Tom Paterzo.
Correct.
And amongst other players I was fortunate enough to play with. But yes, before a game, I can't fathom why you wouldn't want to take BP and be ready, a little sweat going, the muscles loose and ready to rock and roll.
I couldn't
10, 15 swings and rock and roll.
couldn't agree with you more. So, Rip, our final question is not so much a question. Comes from Jason Stagets. He says, Rip, tell Rip that I need a shout out and that I look forward to seeing him in Oklahoma City in 2 weeks. Jason Stagets.
That is my boy, the albino gorilla, Big Dog. I'll see you in a couple of weeks, pal. Look forward to it. Miss you.
There you go. So, Rip, we're getting close to the end here of Basement Chat, but we're going to, close on something that's a little bit more serious, and I'm going to kind of turn it over to you. And
Listen, everybody, I appreciate you always watching Basement Chat. I sincerely do, and I know there's some serious points to it and a little bit of comedic value too. Try and keep us interested. But this situation here is kind of near and dear to me. A softball friend in need, a friend of mine, Eric Eichhorst, is battling cancer. I'm not looking for a pity party for him. Life happens to all of us in all different degrees. However, they are running a golf tournament this the weekend of the 28th, 27th, 20th. It's going to actually happen on the 28th, that Sunday. So what I'd like to do here is basically, from Basement Chat, is raffle off a spot to be a guest host on Basement Chat alongside Jim or myself. And it's very simple. You're going to PayPal your $10 into Jim Pillow. We'll post all the information for you. However many entries we get is fantastic. We're going to match
first 10.
The first 10 equally.
That's correct.
So that's the 100, and then you'll throw in 100, I'll throw in 100. We'll present the check prior to. We'll have it posted on Facebook so you can see that we're not looking to take any funds. This is seriously a 100% of the funds are going to Eric in his battle against this disgusting disease which has touched all of our lives in one fashion or another. And I just think it would be a great cause if we can get some guys to, even if you don't want to do it and you want your friend to come on your behalf or somebody else, to just kind of pitch in and help and really help a fellow baller, fellow sponsor in a real time of need right now.
Correct. The Basement Chat guest spot is transferable. So let's say our good friend Trung is down in Texas. If he wants to PayPal in $10, take a chance. He might say, hey, I'd like somebody else to take my spot.
Correct.
Whether that's TERS or Doc or whoever it is. So what we'll do is we will put a cutoff of Thursday at 10 o'clock. And what we'll do is on our Facebook, we'll go ahead and post all the names, people that did, so everybody can add it up. I'll post a copy of the check, and we will send that over. What we're looking to do is possibly either sponsor a hole or two, or take a golf cart sponsorship at the Eichhorst golf outing next Sunday.
And if you don't want to enter the raffle, you just like to sponsor the hole or a golf cart sponsor, you can feel free to private message Jim, either in his personal Facebook or at our YouTube Facebook. Either way, any and all donations are appreciated, and we can't thank you enough if you do decide to help. It is for a good cause.
Sure, and we'll figure out how, Rip, to select that winner. Who's going to be joining us on our next edition here of Basement Chat. I mean, it could be anybody. It could be Smitty.
I'm kind of pulling for Coach Smitty.
It could be Coach Smitty. I mean, G Money might take a couple of chances, wouldn't you say?
Just so you understand, Coach Smitty submitted his application to possibly be an on-site reporter next year for Basement Chat.
That would be amazing.
Right?
I would love to say holla.
Good stuff.
All right, Rip, I think that kind of does it for Basement Chat.
Listen, that's going to wrap it up here at episode 8. We appreciate you tuning in. Thanks. Good luck to everybody playing. Go get it.
Good luck above all this weekend.